Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. Today I will be going through today's trade recap. Today is the 2nd of October, okay, and we took a break even trade. So I will be going through everything I was looking for in the market today, and yeah, let's jump straight into it. So starting from the daily time frame, we were at all-time highs, and that means when we're at all-time highs, I'm bullish, okay, bullish until proven wrong. What can we see on the daily time frame? We had previous daily lows, okay, it was very far from where we were at the time, so I didn't expect price to come back down sweeping this previous daily lows, okay. And yeah, you can see that we're at all-time highs. Nothing much to see on the daily time frame. Moving into the 4-hour time frame, at the time we had this unfilled 4-hour fair value gap, and we had another unfilled fair value gap right underneath it. We had another 4-hour fair value gap. Actually, it was a very big fair value gap. We can mark it out also, but it's very big. I don't want to fill my chart with this 4-hour fair value gap, okay. It's very large. And yes, we had only 1 hour, we had only one 4-hour fair value gap, okay. So NQ had 3 4-hour fair value gaps, and DS had 1 4-hour fair value gap. Moving into the 1-hour time frame, we had London lows and Asia lows as our drawn liquidity, and yeah, that was our two main drawn on liquidities of the day, okay. Session lows, very important sell side liquidity, resting in a 4-hour bullish fair value gap and 4-hour bullish fair value gap over here. So at 3:30 we were up here, okay. We didn't fill these two 4-hour fair value gaps. So what did I expect? If the market wants to inverse this 1-hour fair value gap, in this case that's what we did, we are going to sweep out session lows for sure. But if we keep on respecting this 1-hour bullish fair value gap, price most likely is going to create another all-time high, okay. In this case, price went straight down, inversing the 1-hour fair value gap bullish before the macro, okay, so before 345, sweeping these two drawn on liquidities, London low, Asia lows, and we actually retraced inside the first 4-hour fair value gap, okay. So at that time I didn't want to take shorts, okay, although we inverse this 1-minute bullish 1-hour bullish fair value gap, because we already swept our two main drawn on liquidities. So moving into the 15-minute time frame, when we swept the Asia lows and London lows, we created a 15-minute bearish fair value gap, okay. Now I'm not bullish, I'm also not bullish, because we have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. We are trading against bearish PD array, and that's not something which I do, because price could literally hold this 15-minute bearish fair value gap to sweep out this New York close, okay, and retrace in the 4-hour unfilled fair value gap. Remember I told you that over here we had another 4-hour unfilled fair value gap, and we had a very important sell side liquidity resting inside that 4-hour fair value gap. 15-minute intermediate high, 15-minute intermediate low. We had a 15-minute fair value gap, and this low was resting in this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. So I waited. I know a lot of people took longs from this 1-minute bearish fair value gap inversion, but since we had the 15-minute fair value gap very close, I didn't take anything, okay. I waited, and at this point of time, it was 16:44, I was not willing to take shorts from here, okay. I simply waited for price to sweep out this New York close and retracing in this 4-hour fair value gap. So what price ends up doing will come straight down, sweeping the sell side liquidity and retracing in the 4-hour bullish fair value gap. At this time we had created 1-hour bearish fair value gap unfilled. We swept, we didn't actually sweep this low because we swept it on ES. So what did we create? Bullish SMT on NQ and the bearish SMT on ES. Perfect, amazing. Retraced inside the 4-hour unfilled fair value gap, 1 hour unfilled paired with a 1 hour order block, 15 minute, we had a 15 minute intermediate high, okay? We had this 15 minute intermediate high resting in that 15 minute filled fair value gap. So 15 minute intermediate high plus 1 hour fair value gap. So I was waiting to see price now displacing through a short-term high, so we can target the 15 minute intermediate high and the 1 hour unfilled fair value gap. Let me, what was this one? Perfect. So we had a sell side liquidity sweep of New York lows. Okay, so we swept session low. And we created an SMT, ES taking out the sell side liquidity, 15 minute intermediate low, and we're jumping from we are bouncing from a 4 hour unfilled fair value gap. Now it's filled. What I wanted to see now is a displacement and market structure shift through a short-term high. So in this case, this was our last short-term high. Price displaced. We created a bullish order block. Okay, you take the highest up close candle within this range, for those who don't know what a breaker block is. And we created a fair value gap. So since we had two 1 minute fair value gaps, I went on the 2 minute time frame and I marked this 2 minute fair value gap. So I wanted to see price retracing back to this 2 minute fair value gap, so I can take my entry targeting this 15 minute intermediate high and 1 hour fair value gap. What price ends up doing? We went straight up, retraced, that's where I took my entry, stop loss below the candleswick low, and I was targeting this 1 hour unfilled fair value gap. Now, looking back at this trade, this was a very high setup and a very high probability trade. We are jumping from a 4 hour fair value gap. It was unfilled and we filled it. We have a higher time frame SMT. We have liquidity. We have internal sweep on NQ. Displacement, market structure shift, created the bullish breaker block and the bullish fair value gap as our confluences. Once price retraced immediately into this 2 minute fair value gap, that's where I took my entry. And as you can see over here, we had the 5 minute fair value gap bearish. So once price touches this 5 minute bearish fair value gap, that's where I'm going to put my stop loss to break even. What price ends up doing? Chopping around, straight up. Okay, once we hit this 5 minute fair value gap, I put my stop loss to break even. At the time, I also realized that we have a 15 minute fair value gap. With that 5 minute fair value gap, we had a 15 minute fair value gap. Okay, so price could do only two things here. Straight up going into the 1 hour unfilled fair value gap, or this 5 and 15 minute fair value gaps getting respected, and we will go like straight down to sweep out this sell side liquidity, which is something I did not expect. Okay, price went straight down, stopping us out at break even, and yeah, what price ends up doing later, creating another bullish SMT and bearish SMT on ES. We retraced inside this 1 minute bullish fair value gap, and then we went straight up, sweeping out the internal high and retracing into the 1 hour unfilled fair value gap. There you go, there you have it. So nothing to do here. Okay, we're patient, we're disciplined, we followed our rules, put our stop loss at break even at the right place, in my opinion. Okay, if we didn't put our stop loss to break even and kept our stop loss below this candle's low, we would have been stopped out. So nothing to do, very unfortunate in my opinion. Last month we didn't even take one single trade. Okay, actually we took a trade, I'm sorry, we took it on the 3rd of September. It was a win at least. So we are in a 6 winning streaks and 1 break even. Couldn't do nothing. We'll come back tomorrow. Okay, follow our rules, follow our model, and you will see results. Okay, when you follow your rules, you be disciplined, and trading without emotions, FOMO, revenge trading, you will make it as a trader. Okay.